Hey everyone, the name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to Gear Corner. Today we're checking out, Angus Young in a box. This is exactly what the Heatseeker is. This is a brand new dual-sided pedal by Crazy Tube Circuits. On the left side there are three different Marshalls that are famously used in AC/DC, and on the right side there's this Schaffer Preamp, which is built in Angus Young's wireless unit, and that is famous for enhancing and changing the structure and the tone of his guitar rig. So that's why he uses that even in studios when he records an album. He doesn't need a wireless, still it's a part of his sound. So we'll check out both sides of the pedal, all three different Marshall settings on the left side, right after the intro track. Quick reminder, in case you enjoy these videos, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. That would help me a lot, and you wouldn't miss future episodes and videos coming up on the channel. Of course, leave a comment below and check out the description box if you want any additional infos, such as a gear link if you want to check out the Heatseeker for yourself, just my rig, my signal chain, anything that I use in these videos, and of course timestamps. Oh, and my merchandise as well, in case you want to support my channel. All right, so the left side is are actually three different Marshall amps. The JTM setting is on the top of this mini toggle. Then in the middle you have a super lead, which is, let's call it a plexi. And the lowest setting, the third setting, is the master volume, which is again a different generation of Marshall amps. Let's check out these three first before we talk about the other mini toggle switch and before we talk about the right side of the pedal. You have a 3-band EQ that's fairly simple: bass, middle, treble, and you have a master and volume, and then there's a presence, which is again something that we know from these amps. This is the pedal bypass signal. I don't have an SG, I'm very sorry. Also no Gretsch, so I cannot even reproduce that side of AC/DC's tone. I have a really cool Les Paul though, so I just stick to that. Same type of PAF style pickup, so that's gonna be alright, I think. That goes into the Tone King Imperial Mark II. Don't ask me about the key here, I did things. The JTM has that less mid-range, but like a really nice and warm and big low gain sound. Then the middle setting has just a much more bright tone, because that's, as far as I know, that's what Angus always did with plexis, like the super leads. He went into treble channel, the normal channel, not the bass channel. So it's a little thinner. And then of course the master volume, which again just sounds a bit more modern. All right, the other mini toggle, this one says WOS, wall of sound. This is a really interesting switch actually. I would call it a feel switch. The sound of like one Marshall, one amp, compared to a wall of Marshalls, wall of amps, wall of sound. So it just widens the tone, probably pushes the low end. It just feels like more amps, like using multiple amps. Let's see how that reacts. Lower mid-range push and just creamier, just a little less brittle tone, which is, I don't know, it's just a little sweeter and definitely sounds bigger. So yeah, wall of sound, that's a good one. Let's crank the volume a bit, which is, actually it's the gain, but because of those amps where gain is your volume, it's called volume here as well, but that is the amount of gain that you have. So I had it at, what is that, 9 o'clock, because I wanted to stay close to an authentic amount of drive. When we're talking about AC/DC, they don't really use a lot of gain, and I get it, that just keeps everything very focused and percussive. I love, and it's a sound of its own. If you have more drive, then you arrive in like 80s rock, hairspray metal kind of territory. Let me try if this pedal does that as well. But I really love, if this was the only gain setting, like 9 o'clock, I would already be happy with the pedal, to be honest. Your signal goes into the pedal, then it goes into the right side, into the boost side, and then into the red, the amp side, and then it comes out. Of course, you can put stuff between those two, or you can just loop both sides into a pedal switcher separately, so that you can change the order, just put multiple pedals between them, do whatever you want with them. That's what the send and return is for. You can just put in, I don't know, a chorus or a compressor or whatever you want between these two, or you can just use this as in and out for the boost side, and then return and out, in and out, basically for the amp side, for the left side, and just put these in separate loops in a switcher and have all the freedom you want. Or if you just want to connect the pedal normally as you would, like one input, one output, just use the outside jacks and you're good. All right, I'm going back to the JTM setting and lower the drive, so the volume, balance out the EQ, don't do anything crazy, and turn off the wall of sound, because I want to show what this boost does. Well, first of all, you have a level knob with which you can, of course, just give it some more dBs. But this enhance knob here is the magic sauce. To me, it sounds like it increases upper mid-range, and with that, pick attack. Just that airiness, or something that is really cool, especially if you start playing dynamically. If you just bang the strings, I don't feel that there's a big difference at all, really. But as soon as you start playing with your dynamics and just have some softer pick notes and some heavily pick notes, you just have a more, I don't know, open sound overall. if you have that on. Level is going to be at around 1011, which is unity. So I don't want to boost the signal with more dBs. I just want to show you what this does. It's fairly subtle, so pay attention to what's up. Use headphones or good monitors if you want to hear like proper differences. It's subtle, but for the player it is very obvious when it's on or off. This is where you immediately feel, and I think you can also clearly hear the difference between on and off. But if you just hit two big chords, it's not going to be that obvious. Like most subtle differences in the guitar tone world, where a lot of people start saying like, oh, that's not a thing, you're just making that up. It depends on how you play, what the rig is, etc., what kind of style you play, if you're even interested in those differences or not. This is one of those things. As soon as you crank the level above 10 or 11 o'clock, it will give you a couple of dBs, which is just awesome for a bit more tight drive. I always wondered how Angus Young's rig would sound like with a Tele. So let's do that. This is the bypass tone, and then I'll check out some settings on the Heatseeker. All right, so my thoughts on the Heatseeker. I love multiple things about it. I love the fact that it gets really, really close to the real deal, to that sound. Even though I played the wrong guitar, it's not an SG, I play through a very different amp. The Imperial Mark II by Tone King is like a tweaked, modded deluxe reverb, 20 watt kind of, American clean sounding amp with some breakup. It's very far from like any of those amps that this sort of recreates. I'm not going into a power amp at this point. I'm using this as like 85-90% of guitar players would, as an overdrive pedal, not as a preamp. Even though it has definitely enough volume on tap, so like the master, this one, so that you can use the amp side as a preamp and put stuff in between them and put the boost at the beginning of your board. As told, you can use them separately and connect them separately to your rig. I love how easy it is to get to a very authentic, fun Angus Young kind of AC/DC kind of sound. The other thing that I love about it is how easy it is to forget the fact that it's supposed to be Angus Young in the box kind of pedal. It is just a really good, broadly usable British drive voiced boost and drive pedal. It sounds amazing with single coils as well. It sounds like almost like 80s rock without any help. You have a really nice boost with a very sweet this enhanced feature with this sweet upper mid-range boost for some more clarity and like air, which is awesome if you play dynamically. So this side is really cool. I could imagine a bit more aggressive enhanced knob. So this is pretty much my only critique, or if this was my signature pedal, let's put it this way, I would ask for that enhance knob to be a bit more aggressive. If your sound is, for whichever reason, the pickups or the amp is just a bit really too soft and warm and whatever, that you can make that punchier as well, or just open it up a bit more. But honestly, if you have a rig that you're really happy with, this is exactly the right amount of enhance that's available with that knob, because if you went further, that would just be too much. So why even offer it? I get it. I absolutely understand why they went for this amount of upper mid-range push. All right, let me know in the comments below what you think about the Heatseeker. And if there's anything I didn't talk about and you want to know, let me know. I'll try to answer it. And see you next time in a new video. Bye-bye.